Hey guys, we're here with one more Ask Demian. And today I got a question, actually a very long question from Chips. He asked me what are the top 5 things each beginner, intermediate, and advanced BJJ practitioner can do to improve. So I think that's a long answer. So I decided to split this in 3 parts. So the first video I'm gonna talk about what I think is important for a beginner to improve in BJJ. So if I have a beginner in my gym, in my academy, first thing I'm gonna tell him is to focus on learn fundamentals techniques. That's the most important. He just needs to learn the tools and learn as much as he can and focus of course in fundamentals. Don't focus in advanced techniques because that's something he will use all his life. Doesn't matter if he's fighting as a white belt or black belt, he's been using the fundamentals forever in his BJJ life. The second thing I would say that I would try to understand the principles of BJJ. Behind any technique, there is one or more principles. For instance, how to use the strength of your opponent, how to use leverage, base, connection. So every time you're doing a technique, once you learn, you start to ask which principles you have behind that technique. Let's say arm bar, you're gonna use your opponent's strength because he's probably pushing you, and also you're gonna use the leverage, and you're gonna use connection to connect the hand on your chest and don't let him lift the hand, and then don't put the proper pressure. In a takedown, you're gonna use also leverage. You're gonna use your opponent's strength against him, and all these principles that it's important to understand to have a better understanding of the techniques. Other thing that I put in a note here that I think is important. It's very important to learn the BJJ self-defense. This is what every student should start with before you go to the more sportive part of the game, because self-defense is not just important, as a self-defense, of course, but also is a great tool to learn the principles of the art, and also to have a proper posture. If you learn self-defense, probably you're gonna learn how to posture your body, how to posture your spine, how to turn your face to the right side. And this is you apply not just to the self-defense, but all to the BJJ game, even to the sport part of the game. Another thing that I think is very important and some people don't do is to train the stand-up techniques of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not just the ground game. Because when you train that, you're gonna build a solid base for all the techniques, not just the stand-up techniques, but also the ground techniques. And also I think you get a very important muscular development in your lower back, in your legs, that will be very useful for all your training, and you're gonna prevent you for getting hurt, and you're gonna prevent you to get really tired. Everybody who has a better understanding of stand-up technique and have been trained that, let's say a judo guy or a wrestler guy, when they go to BJJ train, they're much tougher and much more solid because of that, because it's just to keep your body stand up and deal with the balance gives you a lot of strength and gives you a lot of sense of balance that you apply in everything, in all the aspects of the game. So since the beginning, you gotta be used to drill stand-up techniques, not just ground techniques. And the last thing that I wanna say is don't focus too much in free sparring, but do more positional sparring, sorry. And also, you don't need to do like every time using 100% of your energy. You can do like 50%, 60%. Let's say, the guy will defend his arm just with not all strength, but just a little bit, and then he goes improving that till he put all his energy. But it's much more important to do positional sparring, like starting in the side position, start with catch, with the arm caught, start inside of a triangle, start inside of a closed guard, and do this positional thing, because you're gonna learn much more than just a free sparring. And the most important of that is, when you do that, your focus is on learning, not in winning. That's very important. You're gonna focus on winning in the future, but as a beginner, the main focus is to learn. So even if you feel that you're gonna lose some position, but you're trying to learn something, that's no problem. So it's a good way also to overcome your ego, be more humble, and a good way to learn the proper way. Okay. So I hope you guys like this Ask Demian. Please subscribe the channel, like my videos, and see you next week. And then next week I'm gonna talk about what I think is important for an intermediate student to learn. And then after that I'm gonna talk about the advanced student. Okay? See you guys.